Namaste children, welcome to our next class. In last class you learned about how our education system changed from earlier to till now, and how the means of transport changed, and how our lifestyle has changed from earlier to modern days you learned. And in today's class you are going to learn about how the environment has changed. Environment means the living and non living things around us, called as environment. So, how this environment has changed from earlier to till date, you are going to learn in today's class. You can see here n number of vehicles and how they block the roads, how they are causing for the pollution, and how earlier environment we will see the pictures of those. And you need content book, workbook, notebook, and a sheet of A4 size paper to do some activities from this lesson. So here you are learning the new words as the first one, environment. ENVIRON, environ, MENT. Environment means the surroundings that we live in. The surroundings where we live in is known as environment.
Environment. The surroundings that we live in.
And the next one is pollution. POLLUTION. Pollution means to make land, water, or soil dirty, called as pollution.
Pollution. To make land, water, or soil dirty.
So here, take one A4 sheet and draw 10 trees, 10 birds flying, 2 animals, and 2 hills, and draw 2 houses within the forest. And next, take an eraser, erase 5 trees and 5 birds that you draw tall buildings in their places. Erase 5 trees and 5 birds, draw tall buildings in that place. And erase the animals and hills and draw roads and cars. Hills, animals you erase, draw the roads and cars in that place. Draw a few more houses close to each other. Draw some houses which are very close to each other. Now exchange your drawing with your partner and see what their drawings looks like. So your drawing will look like, after erasing all those, it will look like this.
In the past, there were many trees and much greenery. Now, trees have been cut down to make buildings and roads, and for growing more crops. In cities, the air has become polluted and difficult for us to breathe. This is how our environment has changed over time.
So from this video you can understand how our environment has changed from earlier to till now. See, earlier it was very beautiful, full of greenery everywhere, trees and hills, forests we are able to see. But nowadays they are clearing the forest either to set up the factories or to grow some crops. In that way, the whole world is looking like a concrete forest. There is no greenery at all because the human needs, they are clearing the forest. So this leads to the changed environment and causing for n number of problems on earth. What did you draw, erase and redraw in the scene, and why? Earlier you have drawn trees, animals and flying birds. Later you erased few animals, trees, and you have drawn big buildings over there. The same thing happening around us. We drew and erased a forest with trees, birds, hills, animals, and a few houses. In its place, we drew tall buildings, cars, roads, and more houses. We drew, erased, and redrew to show how things change in our environment. How has our environment changed over time? Our environment has changed over time to become less green and less suitable for us and animals to live in. Trees have been cut down to build tall buildings, houses, and roads. In the past, we had fresh air in our environment, but now smoke from vehicles and factories cause air pollution. Now you can see in the picture what we had in the past and what we have today. So, in the past, we had more forests and trees and had more birds and animals and clean air we had. But nowadays, has fewer trees, has few birds and animals, has air and noise pollution. So, this is the result nowadays. Why should we protect our environment? We should protect our environment because trees help to keep the air clean. Birds and animals should also be protected because we share our environment with them and it is their home as well. So it's our duty to protect the birds, animals and trees. Then we too will sustain in our environment. So, by this, what did you understand about environment? How to take care of our environment? You can understand by reading 15.4 from your content book, children. After reading clearly, then try to answer the given questions. Which picture shows our present day surroundings? Tick the correct picture. So present day surrounding, do we have fresh picture like this? Do we have greenery? Do we have the plants around us? Or do we have the complete closed buildings and no space from one house to another house? Which picture represents the present day surrounding? You just tick that picture. So it is obviously B picture because there are huge buildings and too much population. Write two differences between picture A and picture B. Picture A is very clean green. Picture A is very green and clean, whereas picture B is completely polluted, full of buildings, factories, and all. There is no greenery. No greenery in picture A. Picture B, there is no greenery. Whereas in picture A, full of greenery. And picture A, we used to get clean air. There is clean and fresh air in picture A. So in picture B, polluted air. Polluted means harmful chemicals are mixing in the air. So we are getting polluted air in picture B, whereas clean and fresh air we are getting from picture A. And the another difference is picture A is so peaceful, very peaceful and calm and peaceful, whereas picture B is too much noisy. Whenever the vehicles are more, people are more, obviously the surroundings are very noisy. So apart from this, if any differences when you are finding from picture A and B, you are most welcome to write that. And what will happen if the environment in picture A disappears completely? When the picture A environment disappear completely, then the earth gets polluted. The earth gets polluted completely. And we could not live. We will not get fresh air. We won't get fresh air for breathing. When we are not breathing fresh air, then definitely we'll get diseases. We get diseases when we are not breathing fresh air. So this is the condition of when picture A disappears totally. Understood, children? So how important the trees and the clean environment in our lives, you might have understood. Now read this 15.4 clearly from your content book, understand each and every point, and then write these practice questions. So the first one is write if true or false. There are more trees and forests now than in the past. False, we don't have trees and forests nowadays. There are many vehicles on the road now than in the past. Yes, that is true. Now write two differences between the environment of the past and of the present. Just now we discussed and you wrote in your content book, in past the environment is clean and green, whereas present the environment is polluted. In past we used to get fresh air, now we are getting polluted air. So the same differences you can write in your notebook, children. What will happen if we do not protect our environment? If we are not protecting our environment, then definitely our environment becomes polluted. It gets polluted, and when we breathe polluted air, we get diseases. When we breathe polluted air, we get diseases. So these two answers you write in classwork, and also complete your content book and practice questions with neat handwriting. Thank you.